If you visit Washington, the capital of America, it would be hard to miss a huge building on Constitution Avenue between the White House and Congress. To provide offices for an army of tax collectors, the taxpayer was forced to foot the bill for a palace that would easily put to shame most Egyptian pharaohs and Roman emperors. Engraved under the roof of the Internal Revenue Service federal headquarters is a sign that brazenly proclaims taxes are the price we pay for a civilized society. A libertarian will counter this statist propaganda with taxation is theft. When I teach on this topic, I tell my students taxes are what taxes do. Why do governments impose heavy taxes on cigarettes? To discourage smoking. Taxes are penalties on the things you tax. The more you tax it, the less you get of it. Most libertarians are not anarcho-capitalists. Therefore, we wrestle with a contradiction. On the one hand, we try to live by the non-aggression principle, respecting the autonomy and dignity of every human being. On the other hand, we see no alternative to the coercive way of funding things such as national defense. We do it collectively through the tool we call government. Until we figure out how to protect ourselves against foreign enemies through market mechanisms, the question is, what kind of taxation is the most effective and fair? The state exists to secure its citizens' freedoms to pursue their individual, family, or corporate goals. Friedman describes it as playing a ball game. We hire a few individuals to discover the best rules and to enforce them impartially. Most of the funding for such activities today comes from taxation of income and profits. However, since prosperity comes from work and innovation, that form of taxation makes absolutely no sense. There is a proposal by Americans for Fair Taxation to replace all national taxes in any country with a single sales tax on new goods and services. This is just a short list of the benefits. If adopted, the fair tax will generate the same revenue for the government. This form of consumption tax is not regressive and will not hurt the poor due to a universal prebate. It eliminates the financial penalties for the producers of wealth. It incentivizes saving and investment, thus boosting economic growth. It will end political corruption in creating tax loopholes for special interest groups. It saves us a massive amount of time and money in both enforcement and in preparing tax documentation. You keep everything you earn as an individual or business owner. You control how much you pay in taxes with your purchasing decisions. Most tax evasions and abuses of welfare programs will end, and tax collectors will be liberated to find productive jobs. The current income tax system in many countries are justifiably under attack for being unfair due to loopholes exploited by the rich, too complex for taxpayers who are forced to hire certified accountants, and too costly to enforce, leading to much tax evasion. Americans for Fair Taxation have developed a simple, common-sense proposal that allows every worker to keep his whole paycheck. Everyone, rich and poor, will only pay taxes on what they spend. Wealthier people spend more and pay more taxes. The IRS tax code contains more than 4 million words. The fair tax will make a bonfire out of that monstrosity, replacing all its exemptions and loopholes for the rich with a national sales tax that treats us equally. Everyone in the United States will pay a 23% sales tax on purchases of new goods and services, excluding necessities due to the built-in prebate. For the first time in a century, American workers will keep every penny they earn. No federal income and payroll taxes. You will get the biggest pay raise in your career. The effective tax rates will drop by as much as 67%. The average household will gain more than $8,000 annually. The prebate gives every legal resident an advance refund at the start of each month. Purchases to the poverty level are tax-free. A family of 4 gets annually more than $7,000 to offset the tax on necessities. You control autonomously your tax burden. If you're thrifty, you pay much lower taxes than the Kardashians. Tax evasion under the current IRS code costs each taxpayer $2,500 every year. By taxing new products and services consumed, the fair tax offers equal treatment at the cash register. Your benefits will not change. While we wait for Jose Pinero's plan to privatize our Social Security and Medicare programs, those will be placed on a solid foundation. Instead of relying on taxing our wages, they'll be funded by taxes on overall consumption by all residents, including those who have crossed our borders illegally, and by all visitors. That's twice as many taxpayers. My favorite benefit? No more tax forms, audits, or IRS bureaucracy. Retailers collect the revenue for the federal government as they do now with state sales taxes. All money goes to the U.S. Treasury. Retailers and states get paid for their collection services. The taxman finds a real job and becomes a wealth creator.